Welcome back to our top 5 horror games. You all had a great response on our last video. That today's video we hit the second generation, meaning GameCube, N64, Dreamcast, Xbox, and the PlayStation 1. With so many games out there, this list was super hard for me to choose only 5 in the top 5. So we'll be giving 2 honorable mentions as well. But before we get into that, what qualifies for me as a horror game? Is it the jump scares? Yeah. Is it the eerie music? You can say that. I feel it's a story and everything put together in one aspect. Many of you would decide Doom, Manhunt, Fatal Frame, or even Condemned would make the list, but they were not on the top of my list. I know you must think I'm crazy, but I've got a little loony. But here we jump right into it. Our first honorable mention goes to Alone in the Dark, the new nightmare for the Sega Dreamcast, which was created by Darkworks as a console survival horror title, and shows significant influence from Resident Evil series. The control scheme and gameplay are much closer to that of Resident Evil than the original Alone in the Dark games. The game retains the static cinematic camera angles with glorious pre-rendered backgrounds and adds a dynamic flashlight mechanic that still looks great to this day. If you're into classic survival horror style adventure games, Alone in the Dark is a must-play and is for me the best horror game on the Dreamcast. Our second honorable mention was as hard it didn't crack the top 5 has to go to Dino Crisis, a survival horror game developed and published by Capcom, originating for the PlayStation console in 1999. The story follows Regina, a special operations agent sent with a team to investigate a secluded island research facility. Finding the place overrun with dinosaurs, Regina must fight through the facility to discover its secrets and ultimately escape alive with her team. Now I will say this, Capcom, you have come out with so many Resident Evil games. When are we getting a Dino Crisis game again? Let's jump into number 5 on the list as we jump into N64's Nightmare Creatures. The story behind Nightmare Creatures draws upon gothic horror elements of the 19th century and begins in 1666. When a devil-worshipping cult called the Brotherhood of Hecate were conducting sinister experiments in London so as to take over the city, and then the world. The Brotherhood tried to develop an elixir that would endow them with superhuman powers. However, rather than creating their intended superhumans, their experiments instead created gruesome monsters called Nightmare Creatures. A single-player only game, Nightmare Creatures allows the player to control either Ignis or Nadia. Secondary weapons such as pistols, mines, firebombs, and magic spells can be used in addition to each character's primary weapon. The game features an optional adrenaline bar which causes health to be lost if it runs out, and players are forced to continuously seek out and win battles to keep up the adrenaline bar full. Nightmare Creatures also spawned a second game in its franchise. Number 4 on the list, we jump to Silent Hill, where in the first game, the game follows Harry Manson as he searches for his missing adopted daughter Cheryl in the eponymous fictional American town of Silent Hill. Stumbling upon a cult conducting a ritual to revive a deity it worships, he discovers her true origin. 5 game endings are possible depending on the actions taken by the player, including one joke ending. To mitigate limitations of the console hardware, developers Liberty used fog and darkness to muddle the graphics. It is considered by many one of the greatest video games ever made, as well as the defining title in the survival horror genre, as it moved away from B-movie horror elements toward a more psychological horror style, emphasizing atmosphere. Now we get into third place, where we go to Eternal Darkness for the Nintendo Gamecube. The game follows the story of several characters across a period of 2 millennia and 4 different locations on Earth. As they contend with an ancient evil who seeks to enslave humanity, the gameplay distinguishes itself with unique sanity effects, visual and audio effects that confuse the player upon break of the 4th wall.
Oops, I'm breaking the 4th wall.
Upon beginning the game's second chapter, players must keep watch on the sanity meter, a green bar which decreases when the player is spotted by an enemy. As the bar becomes low, subtle changes to the environment and random unusual events begin to occur, which reflect the character's slackening grip on reality. Minor effects include a variety of things such as skewed camera angle, heads of statues following the character, and unsettling noises. Stronger effects include bleeding on the walls and ceilings, entering a room that is unrealistic before finding that the character never left the previous room, or the character suddenly dying. Fourth wall breaking elements such as to be continued promotions for a sequel, and simulated errors and anonymous of the TV or GameCube can happen from either low or depleted sanity, or by a scripted event. While the latter does not affect gameplay, they can be misconstrued by the player as being actual technical malfunctions. Number 2 on the list was hard for us to decide between a well-known franchise we all love and a beloved game which has the eeriest story I have ever known. But number 2 goes to Parasite Eve on the PlayStation, the 1998 role-playing video game developed by Square Enix. The game is a sequel to the novel of Parasite Eve, written by Hideko Sana. It is the first game in the Parasite Eve video game series. The story follows New York City police officer Aya Brea over a 6-day span in 1997 as she attempts to stop the Eve, a woman who plans to destroy the human race through spontaneous human combustion. Parasite Eve was Squaresoft's first M-rated game. One of the most eerie cutscenes sees Melissa mutating into Eve in the game, and a scene where the Eve turns the audience into blood. The game featured many scenes that could be the faint of heart, but was so great, 2 other games were made after. Number 1 goes to, well, yep, you guessed it, Resident Evil 1 and 2 on the PlayStation, the horror survivor game that featured zombies taking over after a mutant experiment goes wrong. Resident Evil 1 and 2 story are only 2 months apart, as well as the Resident Evil features the characters in a mansion trying to uncover the secrets of Umbrella, while Resident Evil 2 features a rookie cop and the sister of Chris Redfield searching through Raccoon City for what has happened to the town. Both games brought puzzles, jump scares, and the expanded franchise to the games we see today. The storyline of the game would drive you deep into your surroundings, with zombies coming from every corner and even those infamous lickers as well. It's a franchise and a game that takes the top of the list and the second gen of horror list out there. And there you have it, my top 5 second generation horror games. And you saw it. Dreamcast got one, Nintendo Gamecube got one, 64, even though they came out on the PlayStation with Nightmare Creatures, and PlayStation took some games as well. Now, we didn't see anything with the Xbox. Now, Xbox did have games like The Thing, Doom, Manhunt, some games that might have made it, but they weren't what I wanted as the top 5 of my generation. Even Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but that's something else. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this is a great top 5? What would be your top 5 horror games on those consoles only? I know some people in the last video were posting some of these games out there, but we're only going with these consoles I just mentioned right now, okay? So let me know in the comments what you guys think. As always, like and subscribe. We have a lot of videos coming out. You guys blew up the last one. We're going to be going into the next console era as well, which we'll be doing the Wii, the Wii U, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and the Xbox 360. That will be the next video that'll be coming out. So let me know what you guys might think that you might be seeing in that one. Make sure to check out this video right here. Oh, my bad, right here as well. And as always, guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you for everything you guys do. We have been killing it on YouTube, and I'm going to keep on making these videos for you all. So see you guys on the next stream, next video. I messed up. Have a great one. See you guys. Bye.